Hill, thanks for joining us today on The Story. A Georgia family is in mourning. Their 5-year-old son found unresponsive in a pool of water after a camp field trip. A trip his parents say they didn't know about, didn't authorize. Where they also say the staff lost track of their son, Benjamin Kamal Hosh, for as much as 45 minutes. Here's more now from our affiliate WGCL's Brittany Miller.
He was his father's shadow, and he was my heart.
When Ayesat Idris Hosh and her husband dropped off their 5-year-old son at the Cochran Mill Nature Center's day camp, they never thought that'd be the last time.
And he had a light pulse when I got there, and they were surrounding him, working on him, passing it off to each other, working on my boy. I'm calling them. I say, your daddy's here.
Police say Benjamin Kamal Hosh III drowned Friday in a small pond near a waterfall. A trip Hosh family's attorney, Chris Stewart, says the parents knew nothing about.
Who does that? Who takes people's children a mile and a half away without getting permission? And didn't even ask, can the children swim?
While the family files a lawsuit, I began doing research. I found out the day camp isn't licensed in Georgia and never applied for exemption. In fact, a spokesperson with the state says he didn't even know the camp existed until today and is now investigating. So I questioned a spokesperson with the Cochran Mill Nature Center. He says in part, the child was found a short distance away in a pool of water in an area that had not been visited by the group.
Someone has to be held responsible in this situation.
We took our cameras out to the waterfall to get a look for ourselves. In minutes, we spotted a poisonous snake in the same area where a group of 5-year-olds were sitting and playing just days before. Chattahoochee Hills police say they're still investigating this incident and will soon sit down with the district attorney to talk about possible criminal charges.
And again, that was Brittany Miller from our affiliate WGCL. We did reach out to the Cochran Mill Nature Center. In response, they sent us a statement which reads, in part, we are heartbroken and distraught over this tragedy. They went on to describe what happened on that field trip on the day Benjamin Kamal Hosh died, noting the center has hosted summer camps and other outings for children of all ages for 23 years. Because of the pending lawsuit, however, the board, staff, and volunteers have been advised, they said, to submit no further comments at this time. Chris Stewart is the attorney for the Hosh family and joins us now.
How are you?
I'm doing well, Chris. Thanks for taking some time to be with us. Most importantly, how is the Hosh family holding up?
Devastated. You know, it brings nearly anyone to tears just sitting and listening to them.
We heard, I think he goes by Kamal. We heard Kamal's father say, I got there and he had a light pulse. I can't imagine what that moment must have been like for him to be there with your child in that state. What was he told when he arrived?
He actually arrived at the hospital. Probably the most despicable thing that has happened is the camp never told the family. The director, no one from the board of directors, the executive director, the staff, no one called this family to tell them their son had been rushed to a hospital at all. And they never called the family for 30 hours.
Wait, then how did the family find out where he was?
They got a phone call from the police that your son is critical and being rushed to the hospital. Meet us there. They never heard from this place at all until I was hired.
And they had no idea. I know the parents maintained, so they never had to sign I mean, my kids go to camp. You have to sign a permission slip to have sunscreen reapplied that you send yourself. They never signed a permission slip?
Never.
Or were notified of this trip?
Each week they get an itinerary of what the kids are supposed to do. That day was fishing and a water fight with the fire department, which they did. They had no clue their son was even at waterfalls or near water because he can't swim.
And did they know, you mentioned fishing too, were there any events that were planned on the itinerary that they were given that would have required the children going off-site?
No, the fishing is right there at the pond, right in front of the building. This rocky cliff area where the waterfall is at least a mile away. It's insane.
We should point out we did, and I know we showed some of the statement. I'm sure you have seen a similar statement from the camp. They are not commenting too much because of pending legislation. What is that forthcoming lawsuit? What is the family hoping will come of that?
Well, I find it interesting that they can release a statement and respond to media, but they can't contact a family who has just lost a son in their care for 30 hours.
Have they not heard from them at all since then, or was it the fact that it took 30 hours and then they did in fact reach out?
After we came to the scene on Saturday with the police, then they suddenly started calling the family.
And did they offer any explanation to the
None
parents?
whatsoever. And we don't believe the statement that was put out that 4 adults were with 13 kids. If so, that's 3 kids with each adult. How do you lose one? We believe that they only had 1 person with them.
You believe there's only 1 adult for the 13
Yes.
children?
We don't believe that there were 4 with 13 children.
And all those children around the same age, all around 5 years old?
Yes, it's the Camp Cricket, which is for the very small kids, and they just shouldn't have been out there. When we were on the scene Saturday, we saw a poisonous water moccasin swimming in that water.
Well, we will continue to stay on this. Again, our hearts go out to the family, Chris, and we will continue to stay on it and any further developments. Chris Stewart, we appreciate you taking some time for us today. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.